Hello everyone, this is My Blue. Ćao svima, ja sam My Blue. And today I decided to talk about cases, padeži. Finally, this is what you've been asking for. And this video is actually going to be in two parts because I feel like it is a complex topic, but it's also a topic with many exceptions. So I feel like for you, it's maybe beneficial to see what the examples are and to see all of the noun endings according to cases. So I really want to go step by step with you to try to kind of explain. Mind you, I'm not a Slavic linguist, so I don't really know how to explain these things 100% correctly and in perfect manner, but this is where my experience comes in. So I can always tell you the examples and I can always tell you the exceptions that I found. So I did a bit of research and I found several ways how you can separate these endings and nouns according to endings. And I decided to show you this table. I think it's the easiest kind of way to approach this subject, and I'm going to try to explain this according to the four classes that are represented. But you're also going to notice that I do mention some exceptions, so bear with me. Okay, let's actually check this table out. As you can see, there are four classes, and the first class is nouns that are masculine and they end in a consonant. And here we have an example of a window, prozor. The second class is, well, actually the second kind of column is class 1 still, and here we have neuter nouns that end in O and A, but also we have masculine nouns that end in O and A, because you can find some of them. The second class, or the third column, is feminine nouns that end in A. As you already know, most of our nouns that are feminine end in A, but not necessarily. Of course, we have exceptions. And this is where class 3 comes in, where we have feminine nouns that end in a consonant in nominative. And these are usually some abstract nouns. So this is how you're going to be able to detect them. So as you already know, in Serbia, we use some question words to kind of detect which case it is. And it's pretty intuitive for us, but I'm pretty sure that this does not make any sense to any of you. And for this reason, I'm actually going to use some sentences to kind of show you in which context this can be used. These are not exclusive sentences because for each case you can have several or millions of contexts. So this is just one example how I can explain it. Just to kind of illustrate, these are the sentences that I will be using. For nominative, I will be using someone, so that noun is beautiful, which would in Serbian be something or someone, je lep or lepa or lepo, depending on the gender, right? For genitive, I will be using I am far away from, and then something. Ja sam daleko od, I'm going towards something, so idem ka nečemu, or the noun. For accusative, I see something, in Serbian vidim. For vocative, because this one is kind of saying hi, I will just use a very common way to say hi, what's up in Serbian, which is desi or gdesi. Literally translated, where are you, but it's actually kind of just a common way to say, hey, what's up. For instrumental, I will be using I am with something or someone. In Serbian, it is ja sam sa, and the noun, right? And then for locative, I will be using a hat is on a, and then the noun. Šešir je na something, right? On a noun. Okay, so these are the contexts, and I hope this will actually help you with trying to kind of like figure out where they fit in a sentence. So let's start with the first class, where we have masculine nouns ending in a consonant. And I'm going to use the first word, that's going to be televizor, which is a TV. You can also say TV, but I'm just going to use the full form in this case. So let's see how the endings change. Okay, in nominative, we would say televizor je lep. Genitive, ja sam daleko od televizora. So here we have the ending a. Dative, idem ka televizoru. Here the ending is u. Accusative, vidim televizor. Here we don't have any ending. Vocative, gde si televizore? So here we see that we add the ending e. Instrumental, ja sam sa televizorom. Here we add O and M, om. And locative, šešir je na televizoru. And as you can see, in dative and locative, we have the same ending U. Okay, this was a simple one. This is kind of like what the proper form or proper ending should look like for a noun that is masculine and that ends in a consonant. But of course, we have exceptions. So some of the exceptions that I've found are usually regarding some animate noun. So be it an animal or a person. So for example, we have a slight change with the noun lion, which is lav in Serbian. And the difference is basically that in accusative, in this case, you add a. So it will be lav je lep, nominative. Genitive is ja sam daleko od lava. Dativ, idem ka lavu. Akuzativ, vidim lava. Vokativ, gde si lave. Instrumental, ja sam sa lavom. And locative, šešir je na lavu. The similar thing happens with the noun puž, which is snail, and here again we have basically the same endings as for lion, where in accusative we'd add a. So it is puž, puža, pužu, puža, puže, pužem, pužu. Then I have some examples for the same class where the ending is either K or G or H or C or Z or Z, however you want to call it. And this is the process that we call palatalizacija. I don't want to talk a lot about it. I just want you to know that these letters or sounds are going to change into ch, j, or sh, but only in vocative. And let me give you an example with the word, and I forgot which one it was, drug, which is a friend. As you can see, the noun drug ends in G or G, as we say it in Serbian, because we never say G. So this sound, G, is going to change into Ž. Let's start our declension. Drug je lep. Ja sam daleko od druga. Idem ka drugu. Vidim druga. Gde si druže? So here we see the change, right? From G to Ž. Ja sam sa drugom. And šešir je na drugu. Okay, let's use a noun that ends in K, and K will be changed into Č. So this one is učenik, which is basically a pupil or student, but I will mostly use it for a pupil. It will go something like this. Učenik je lep. Ja sam daleko od učenika. Idem ka učeniku. Vidim učenika. Gde si učeniče? Ja sam sa učenikom. And šešir je na učeniku. A very similar thing happens with the noun man or human, which is čovek. So let's see how the endings look like here. Čovek je lep. Ja sam daleko od čoveka. Idem ka čoveku. Vidim čoveka. Gde si čoveče? Ja sam sa čovekom. And šešir je na čoveku. Let's move now on to another phenomenon in Serbian, which is called Nepostojano a. And it basically means that sometimes the A in the word just gets lost. It disappears. And I will explain to you through the example of dog, a noun dog, which is pas in Serbian. So let's change it through cases. Pas je lep. Ja sam daleko od psa. Here you can see that A disappears and now we have the ending A. That is a normal ending for cases. Idem ka psu. Vidim psa. Gde si psu? Ja sam sa psom. And šešir je na psu. And then I want to mention the combination of the two, of palatalizacija and nepostojano a, which is basically we have the change from C to č, and then we also have a that kind of gets lost somewhere. So let's use the noun father, which is otac in Serbian, and let's change it through cases. Otac je lep. Ja sam daleko od oca. Here is where we see that a disappears. Idem ka ocu. Vidim oca. Gde si oče? So c changes into č. Ja sam sa ocem and šešir je na ocu. The last example that I will use is the example with the words that end in lat, which is usually nouns that used to describe someone doing something. So for example, we have čitalac, which is a reader, and L kind of disappears or changes into O. So I'm not gonna dwell a lot about what actually happens, but just so you know that there's a different ending for other cases actually. So L only stays present in nominative. Let's change the noun. Čitalac je lep. Ja sam daleko od čitaoca. So here we have O actually, čitaoca. Idem ka čitaocu. Vidim čitaoca. Gde si čitaoče? So c actually changed into č here as well. Palatalizacija. Ja sam sa čitaocem and šešir je na čitaocu. And these are all of my examples for today. So as you can see, even though I tried to kind of encompass everything in one theory, I think it's very, very complex, and I tried to explain it as much as I could. It's up to you to kind of recognize these nouns and endings, and also to memorize them, and a lot of them is just about repetition. But before I go, I want to give you a task, and I want you to change these nouns according to all cases. You don't have to use the context. If you don't want to, you can just use the kind of formula, the endings that I used in this video, and all of these nouns are actually everything that I talked about today, so there's nothing new. Let's see which words you are going to be changing, and write them in the comments below, of course. So the first one is mislilac, which is a thinker. The second one is microphone, and in Serbian mikrofon. Then we have duh, which is a ghost. Then we have the word narod, which is basically people. And the last one, which you don't have to do because it's quite complex, but if you do it, then, I mean, props to you. This one is momak, which is a guy, like a younger guy. And that is all for me today. I really hope I helped you a bit. It was quite complex for me too, because I never explicitly cover all of these rules, but some things make a bit sense now, and I'm glad that I can help you. And of course, if you have any more examples, please write them down in the comments below. Next week or in the next video, I'm going to talk about the rest of the classes, and they are not as complex as this one, so stay tuned. Pozdrav!